Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live.
Let's go, baby!
From Dallas, Texas.
No puppies. I need a dog to make a play.
Presented by the law firm of Vincent Carrizales.
It's time for football.
It's Paco's Locker Room Talk.
What a day, what a day, what a day.
What a day, what a day, what a day. First of all, I'd like to everyone introduce you to Javier Collins, number 70, 71. 70
Yes,
with
sir.
the Dallas Cowboys. Also played in the NFL Europe, correct?
Correct.
Correct. All six of them. I want to welcome Javier. I have had a very, very, very long day. I've been in bed all day. I've been sick. You know what happens to people that return their sandwiches because they weren't done right the first time, and obviously that's what happened to me. So I'm sure the manager went back and said, "Yeah, serve him the special wonton soup."
Oh,
And so I've been feeling it.
man.
I didn't sleep at all last night, man. I was hurting, brother.
Man.
I was hurting, and so I'm barely coming around now. But I'm glad you're here, Javier.
Glad to be here.
You know, Billy Davis, usually our co-host, that's here with us, but he had some other things he had to do, and I understand. You know, Billy gets paid the big bucks. You know, me, when I do this show, they just put a little bit on my card where I can get some bread and cheese. You know, I don't even know what that card called, Lone Star
Yep.
card or something like that.
Sandwiches.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. So, you know, I'm low man on the totem pole. But, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, I understand, you know, I know you haven't been 6'6" all your life, have you?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I was always definitely the biggest kid in class.
Okay.
But no, I didn't come out 6'6".
Some guys are that big. I mean, you know, I had a guy that boxes for me when he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
He was 6'1", and he stayed 6'1" from 12 years old till he's 22 now.
Wow.
I mean, he's always been the biggest kid. So that, when I ask you, like, have you always been that big? Meaning, you know,
yeah.
you always been the biggest kid around.
No, that's interesting. So in boxing, is height a distinct advantage?
Yes, you got those long arms. You got
Okay.
that reach.
Okay.
You know, like Deontay Wilder, he's got a very good reach.
Yeah,
you know.
and I watch boxing. I enjoy it, but
Yes,
I
but
know-
you've been to our
I know-
our fights.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
I have. And shout out to Montoya Boxing.
Thank you.
Throw out great events, and I have enjoyed myself at a number of your events. But I know you are a boxing aficionado.
Yes.
I am just an admirer of the sport, a student of the sport. So
Okay.
I defer to you on all counts related to boxing.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself and you know, through high school and college and so on.
Yeah, so originally from the Midwest, I was raised in the Twin Cities, Minnesota,
Okay.
on the St. Paul side.
Okay.
So it's similar to the Metroplex with Dallas and Fort Worth.
Okay.
St. Paul and Minneapolis are sister cities that are very
Okay.
close. So I was raised in St. Paul, and I mean, just a really, you know, close-knit, blue-collar type community that I grew up in.
Right.
So I started playing basketball at a very young age, around first grade. And because I was the biggest in class,
Right.
I was able to start with the older kids, right? So
Okay.
I'm a first grader playing on the third and fourth
Oh, really?
rec league teams.
Wow.
My first time out, I was way over my head. It was too much. I couldn't handle it, right? So I had to step back,
Right.
and you know, rework some things and come on back a few years later.
Right.
So
right. And in football, did you play in 7th, 8th grade, or when did you start playing football?
yeah, so after that first introduction to the sport, I left for a year and a half, came back in third grade and played on the third grade team. And I stuck with football up until about 6th grade. And then I transitioned over to basketball.
Okay.
And, you know, my life kind of changed from that point. I left football alone
Right.
and just focused on basketball. And I was a horrible player to begin with. I was
Football or basketball?
Well, basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trash. I mean, football, I was bigger than everyone else. I could move well. I had pretty good instincts. So I kind of, I kind of find myself at home on the football field.
Okay.
In basketball, it's a completely different skill set. You have to dribble, to move and shoot. Like it was totally different.
And it's funny because you are the third black man, if you include Emmett Smith, that I've met that's not very good at basketball.
Oh.
Most Mexicans are good swimmers.
Oh.
If we weren't good swimmers, we wouldn't be over here, right? I mean, the bad swimmers are still over in Mexico.
Well, hold up. This I didn't say I wasn't any good.
Oh, okay.
I said I wasn't any good when I started.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, I got you.
Shouts out to the Moors out there.
Okay.
I wasn't any good when I started, but
Right.
I was fortunate. I had some really good coaches, and I had some really good situations that I was in, and I was able to develop as a player.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't until later in high school when I reconnected with football.
Okay.
And by then I was, much more of an established athlete. I had much more confidence, much more skills.
What grade did you?
So I started playing again in 11th grade.
11th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the funny thing was I started playing football again in 11th grade. The idea came to me only to prepare for the upcoming basketball season, to get my conditioning level up, to get into shape.
Like some people use another sport to get ready for another. Yes.
Right. So
upcoming sport.
So I used football to get ready for the upcoming basketball season in the winter. So yeah.
Wow. And back then, did you just have the height, or were you a big person, like all around big person, like Nate? Nate's always been big and fat.
Yeah.
He was never.
Shout out to Nate Newton.
Yeah, when he came out, there was no small about Nate.
He's not fat no more.
No, he got it all back.
Yeah.
Yes, he got it all back. He works for Dion now at his house.
Okay.
Yeah, and Dion says sometimes he gets them mixed up with the hogs that are running around.
Wow.
Can't tell which one.
Oh.
Who's who. So
Dion.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But no, I always had height, but I was a slender tall naturally.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I definitely my cowboy days I was upwards of 330, so I definitely know how to put on the weight.
Yeah.
But as a kid growing up, I wasn't like overly huge. I was just always the taller one.
Okay. I was going to ask you about your weight. In the league, you played about 330. I was going to say about 320, but 330 was your playing weight.
332 was my highest as a professional football player.
And were you that big in college also, or did you reach that in just the NFL?
No, I was not. So I actually had a little bit of a transition on my road to the NFL. So I played. I was a defensive lineman in high school and college.
Oh wow!
I
bet nobody knew that.
Yeah, and then when I got to the league, to the NFL, my rookie year, Dave Campo was the coach. Shout out to Dave Campo.
Yeah.
He was the coach that year, and everything things played in my favor. So it was just a situation where basically they were like, son, you're a pretty good player. We're not going to release you, but we want you to
make a transition.
We want you to become an offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
And I was like, yes, sir. Where do I start?
Yeah, where do you sign? Yeah, we've had quite a few. Well, not very many. Mark Tuinei was the same thing.
Yep.
First came to the league. He was a D lineman.
Yep.
Actually,
shout out to Tui.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Michael Downs used to tell me all kinds of stories how Tui was really one of the meanest players as a D lineman.
Yep.
And he was pretty tough as an offensive lineman too. Of course, when Kevin Gogan came around, Kevin Gogan was the nastiest man in the NFL.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. Gogs was a great guy though, man. I love Gogs. Great guy. But and so you made that transition. So you came on the team right when I was leaving because I was there under 1 year with Coach Campo.
Okay.
And then the second year he was going to start up. That was our first losing season. We were 6-10.
Okay.
And that's when they let me go. So you came on in 2001?
2001 was my first year.
So
and all of 2000 was Dave Campo. 2002 was Dave Campo. 2003 was when they transferred over to a gentleman by the name of Mr. Bill Parcells.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Coach Parcells. Yes. And I guess, that's a no-brainer. Nothing against Coach Campo either, but Bill was pretty tough on you guys, wasn't he?
He definitely had his set of expectations
Yeah.
that were on the field and off the field, and both were equal in his eyes.
Right.
And he did not allow anything less than what he expected out of his players. So have a tons of admiration for him. He was a great teacher. He was a great student of the game, the type of coach where you just learn something new every day, right? A little bit different from Campo. Campo was more of management guy, right? Kept the system going,
Right.
kept the boat afloat, project management.
Right.
Guys respected him, right? But it was just a completely different flavor with the tuna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you came to the team, you guys had already transferred over to San Antonio for training camp, correct?
No. So my first year, we were still going to Wichita Falls.
Were y'all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all did one more year there. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Wichita Falls, the 116-degree
Yeah.
heat index.
Yeah.
Like
man,
no other.
And then y'all basically played on. I mean, I was there. We played on dirt. I mean, the grass was. God, I hate to say it. There was no grass there.
Up in Wichita?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was and no shade.
Yeah, I think it was just so hot that the grass didn't have a chance to grow in the summertime. It's just so hot up
Man,
there.
I'm telling you, and that's why they have that damn bicycle race. What is it called? Hell on Wheels or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's up
Yeah, I've
to
heard
Wichita
of that.
Falls and back. Man,
Wow.
that's
no
something
joke.
else, man.
Yeah.
And so give me a quick story. First of all, at 6'6", that's your height, correct? At 6'6", was it harder to? I guess it's easier to put the weight on because you're already tall frame. So as long as you hit the weights, and I mean everything just kind of basically falls into proportion. And which
Well-
it's different with Nate. No matter what he did, it all went to his stomach. You know,
Well,
but-
that's a good point. Some guys can carry the weight,
right.
and some guys are just always, a sandwich or a biscuit or something away from just being overboard with it.
Right.
So I think fortunately for me, I was able to carry the weight and still be able to move. I mean, that's really the primary objective, is being able to move and be productive and big at the same time.
Right.
So I feel fortunate that I was able to accomplish both,
And what is your weight at now?
Oh, right now I'm probably closer to 250.
Wow. And
Yeah.
did it just come off right away, or did it take time?
No, it took some time.
So you don't
some
work out
effort.
much, or
Well, I like to stay active. I don't work out as much as I would like to, or maybe as I would need to. Definitely don't work out as much as I used to.
right.
But
You hoop?
no,
No hoop?
no, sir.
So you just do the simple workout, a little bit
Unfortunately
of
not.
weights. and
Yeah,
that's it?
low impact.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I
keep it
got
simple these
you.
days.
Nothing wrong with that. And
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's people out there wondering, like, man, Paco, you're always all over Nate. Believe me, when we worked together, Nate had a Mexican joke for me every day, every morning. I walk into the locker room, he had a joke about Mexicans, and it's all good. That's just the way we were. We kid around like that all the time. So.
Yeah.
No, I'm not picking on Nate. No, he's not here, but I'd love for him to come on the show. But
Sorry.
he's a big boy, and
Sorry.
no matter what he does, he was very, very strong. That I do know.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of payback.
Yeah,
This is football.
That's right.
Football thrives off of payback.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But in a few minutes, we're going to come back with Javier, and he's going to have to give up some type of story, something he remembers in that locker room that's going to make you guys say, like, wow, I can't believe that happened. But we're going to go to commercial real quick.
How was that? We good?
Well, do not walk into the criminal courthouse alone. If you have been charged with a criminal case, you deserve the best when you're so much in the line for your legal representation. Call Vincent Carrizales, attorney at law, 214-942-4500. And for somebody like Javier who never gets in trouble, I mean, I know you don't need an attorney. You don't ever get in any trouble. You're one of those straight A guys.
Well, I might need to talk to him.
Now?
Maybe.
Okay, okay. Well, then maybe you've been in trouble, but you got to keep that number in your back pocket. 214-942-4500. Vincent. As a matter of fact, if you ever go to the can, look by the telephone. Vinny Carsales, right there. Call him. He's on the hotline.
Okay.
He'll come get you out. Either he will or I will.
I will remember that.
Okay.
Hopefully I won't have to. Okay. But if I do, I will remember that.
Okay. Now let's move on to our next sponsor, King Wheels. Now, Javier, I don't know if you need any, but these guys, a good friend of mine, his name is Adib. He's got over 500 sets of wheels to choose from. He's got all major brand lift kits and lowering kits for your truck. I don't know if you drive a truck or a SUV or something like that, but they've got financing available, which, that's something we talk about now that, before when you're playing in the league, you get them big checks, you don't ever think about financing, but now we can use it, man. So financing available, 100 days, same as cash, $40 down, and you can take it home today. Wheeling and dealing since 1980. And matter of fact, he's starting to do a lot of the current Cowboys now, believe it or not.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, he's
good for him.
Any trucks that need to be lifted or lowered, they're sending them over to Adib because that's the kind of work they do. But definitely, if you want to get some tires or wheels done, go by there and let them know you heard it on Paco's Locker Room Talk, and they will give you a discount, I believe 10% off for your whole package deal. So check them out when you get a chance. And now let's go back to Javier. Javier,
Yes, sir.
tell us some things that baffled you when you first came into the Valley Ranch. Just like that right there. I know you sat in Valley Ranch. You sat over there with the old line.
That's
Yes.
the locker room.
That's right.
Yep.
Tell me.
That's the locker room.
That's right. So tell us. You sit down and you're. You got to be in awe. I mean, because you were still. Emmett was still there, wasn't he?
Yes,
yeah.
that's
Zone was
correct.
still there.
Zone was
Yes.
still there, yep.
Yeah. So who else was still there? Troy was gone.
Troy was gone. Emmett was there. Woodson was there. Shout out to Darren Woodson.
Yes.
LA was there. Shout out to Larry Allen.
Yeah. Now let me ask you something real quick about Woody. Was it me or did he always wear tight clothes? I think he's one that invented skinny jeans. I don't know. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
You know what? I don't know, but he is a stylish brother.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that back in the day, him having that level of style. So
Yeah.
I can't speak on skinny jeans or not.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I know that's the fad these days.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
But
but it's not for everyone to wear though.
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
So who else was there besides Woody, Zone, and
There were a few. Mark Stepnowski was there.
Step was still there when you were there?
He and I were actually locker neighbors. So
Oh, okay, you're right next to Step.
yeah, so I was able to really, we had a lot of good and surprisingly and almost weird conversations.
Yeah.
Really deep conversations.
Yeah, Step was that type of person.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
talked to you and he started getting real deep in the conversation. That's Step, man. Let me tell you a quick story about Step. So he left the Cowboys and he went to the Titans. Well, most guys get their jerseys and they plaque it up, put it in a frame and everything, put it in their house. And he did that. Little did he know he was going to come back to the Cowboys. And he loved most of you guys. Well, some of you guys. I'm not sure if everyone's the same way, but once you get a helmet or a jersey that you love, you just stick with it. You don't want to change another jersey. And so
That's correct.
Step brings in this big old, what do you call it? What do they call those? Shadow box. It's got the jersey in there, and it's right there in front of the equipment room. And so I'm asking him, I think I was Mike McCord. I'm like, McCord, what's up with the Steps jersey there? Y'all gonna hang it in the locker room or what? He's like, no, hell no. That's what Steps playing in this year. I said, what? He says, yeah, we got to break the damn frame, and he wants us to get the jersey.
The actual jersey.
The actual jersey.
He wanted
to play in that same jersey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they had to do that. Same thing with Leon Lett. Yeah. Leon Lett wore the same jersey all those years.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at the number 7 on Leon Lett.
Yeah.
7 starts up like this, goes like that. This part it almost looked like a 1.
Yeah.
Because all this was wore down. Yeah, the number was wore down.
He's doing his thing out there
Yes.
these days.
Yes.
With the defensive line. Today.
Yes.
Shout out to Big Cat.
Yeah.
Our careers did not align, but I mean, legendary. When we're talking about Cowboys, legendary Cowboys, like he is definitely on that list. So
Yes, El Gato Negro. That's what they used to call him.
That's right.
They called him that one time. We did a basketball game down south. We were like on a tour, and he came up to me. He says, Paco, they call me El Gato Negro. What does that mean? I said, Black Cat.
Yeah,
he moved
Black
like
Cat.
a black cat. And he's like,
Shout out to Black Cat.
I like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, indeed.
Cat's a good person.
Indeed.
Yeah. He actually had to go back to school in order to get the coaching position because he's always liked coaching, but they made him go back to school and finish.
Yeah, good for him. I mean,
then-
that is actually part of the reality when leaving the game, right? It's
Yeah.
having to go back and gain more, whether certifications or whether credentials or what the case is, right?
Yeah, right.
That's a definite part of that transition out of the league. So props to him. He did that, and it worked out for him. And now he's, the defensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and he's just like you. He lost a lot of that weight. He's real thin.
Yeah.
He just, back when he was playing, we called him Chipmunk. But he had those big
with the
cheeks.
cheeks,
Yeah, it looked
yeah.
like he had oranges in him.
Yeah.
And boy, Big E would say, go call him Chipmunk. I said,
Yeah.
why? He said, just go. So I go call him. I said, what's up, Chipmunk? Boy, he'd get mad, chase me through the locker room. Big E would
Oh,
be
man.
laughing.
Man.
Big E was always messing with him.
Man, remind me never to get on your bad side, man. You have a lot of payback
Well,
for people, man.
man, we had a blast in the locker room, Javier. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you just don't know. You came.
Yeah. I got the tail end of it.
Yes.
It was a blast. I think you had left the
Facility,
team.
yes.
Yep, you had left. So a lot of the guys who still know you and who were still connected with you.
Yeah.
So that spirit was still there.
Yeah.
Right. That spirit was still there, and to your question earlier about like one of the first things that I saw, or the biggest things that I saw from a story perspective, was just that. I mean, look at that. That's the old field.
The old practice field right there, yeah.
But just the spirit of the team, right? Jerry Jones, Mr. Jones, it starts from the top down, like first class.
When you
right?
called him Mr. Jones, what did he tell you?
Well, I called him Uncle Jerry.
Oh, okay.
First of all.
Okay. Because every time
Yeah.
I call him Mr. Jones, he says,
Yeah.
Paco, please don't call me Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Call me Jerry.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
so-
No, he's and that's just a testament to him.
Yeah.
And the individual and character he has, that he's really relatable, really personable, but just like away from the game, just in life, I got a lot of really helpful feedback and helpful advice
Right.
from him. So, he was like an uncle, Uncle Jerry. He was like our uncle.
Wow.
Uncle Jerry.
Yeah. Wow, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great owner, great person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He is a businessman. I mean, let's
Absolutely.
not fool anyone. He's a businessman, and of course, we take it in a negative way when we're not still with the organization because everyone feels like they should still be there. Most people, and he has to make his business decisions, and so therefore,
Absolutely.
I can tell he was very, very close and emotional with a lot of those players when we were there winning the Super Bowls. Man, he didn't want to let go of those guys. I mean, he loved Michael Irvin. He loved Emmitt Smith. I mean, he loved, he talked to Charlie Williams. I mean, any of those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a great guy. God, you just hate that you have to let these guys go sometimes. But so these guys were there when you saw some of these guys there. And what about lunchtime? Did you guys still have? Because when I was there, and I think Jimmy's the one that brought this on, if I remember correctly. He wanted the food catered at lunchtime, so he didn't want the players to have a reason to leave.
Okay.
And so
That
they
makes
started.
sense.
They started having breakfast there. They feed us breakfast.
That makes sense.
They feed us lunch, and then on
Yeah.
Thursdays when people would stay after watch films, they'd even feed you, some dinner.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember having the meals available, and it was.
Was it a different day? We used to have different days. Like we had soul food day, Mexican Day.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I remember to that detail.
Did you eat the food?
Of course.
Well, you don't remember? You don't remember it?
Well, I mean, I just remember there always being a breakfast, a lunch, and nothing after practice. There was like snacks after practice, but
Well, Fridays you got out early, so
yes,
there was
definitely,
always.
definitely a spread on Fridays. I remember those.
And that's
Yeah.
when Kelvin Garmin used to leave with like 4 or 5 pizzas. He was always the
KG.
first one leaving, KG. I'm like, damn, KG, you taking
Yeah.
that to the home? He said, hell no, that's for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, KG.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself, boss.
KG, no, a great guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. He's sensible, very frugal brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, knows where to put his dollars and cents. The type of guy who, a younger player like myself would go to him for, advice and
Right,
direction
right.
on what to do and what not to do.
Right.
So definitely.
Yeah. And so what else did you guys do there? Meetings, you guys, O-line meetings. Who was your class clown in the O-line?
Oh, class clown. I'm going off of my rookie year.
Okay.
So, and again, like I mentioned earlier, my rookie year was not normal,
Right.
I learned how to play the position. I learned how to play offensive line in the league,
Right.
right? So
So you go from grabbing jerseys to jamming jerseys.
jamming
basically.
jerseys,
Okay.
yeah. So in meetings, like I wasn't able to be as relaxed as some of the guys who had been doing it for, 10, 8, 5 years professionally,
Right.
let alone in college.
Right,
Right.
right.
So I knew my role as a rookie, right? And I just did my best, always first to the field, first
okay.
off the field.
I got you.
And in film, like, there was a lot of jokes, some funny jokes. I mean, being around offensive linemen, right, is interesting because these are like the grunt workers,
Yes.
right? Their job description is just like grunt work.
Yes, yes.
Right? You do all the undesirable stuff,
Yes.
right?
With
But
no recognition.
very little.
Very little,
right?
yeah.
The
Like, if you're in
recognition-
LA, you're going to get recognition.
Yeah, or if if one of the striped shirts see you out there, you're going to get recognition for holding or something. But that's it.
Right,
But these are guys who learn to love that position, right, and really accept it.
right.
No glory or very little glory,
Right.
right? But the amount of cleverness and the amount of wit that exists amongst that group is phenomenal. Some of the most wittiest and funniest guys I've ever been around have been offensive linemen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Always have, like, so you mentioned KG.
Right.
Like KG, he always had something smart to say, right? He always had a smart comment, or just, I don't even remember, but it was just, you know that person who always got to get the last word in?
right.
That was KG. Like, he wanted the last word, but his last word was always like something funny,
Right.
Right? Or something sharp and witty, right?
Right.
So, and you mentioned LA. So when I got there, LA was, he was already a perennial Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
He was already, I think maybe 8 or 9, maybe even 10 years pro. I can't remember, but so his demeanor was way more relaxed.
Right.
Right. He didn't really say much. Right. He was cool and calm.
That's right.
When he spoke, people listened. Put it
Right,
like that.
right,
He was
right.
one of those types.
Right.
So yeah, just being in that meeting room, and with the coach. My rookie year, the coach was Hudson Houck.
Oh, yeah.
And
Coach Houck, yes.
shout out to Hudge. He really he gave me my real shot in the NFL. He really that man pretty much vouched for me
Wow.
and stood by me in his meeting room amongst his peers, the coaches, and convinced Jerry, convinced Dave Campo that I was to give me a shot, and
Wow.
yeah, and the rest is history. So but he was a great coach, and so just that the personality with the types of guys is just real special, and just being. I remember just being a rookie coming in from a collegiate environment. It was just totally different.
Right.
It was just totally different. So
And we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna talk about some more O-line stories, and I'm gonna throw mine in there too.
Okay.
We're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna watch Montoya Boxing Gym commercial. My dad's in it, so you ought to check it out.
let's see it.
This is Jesse A. Montoya, raised on the streets of West Dallas. Started boxing in the late 1950s, making a promise to his mother that he would move her out of the poverty-stricken area. As a kid, Jesse would be one of the first in the state of Texas to compete against other African-American kids during the lift of segregation and the beginning of the civil rights movement. 60 years have passed and Jesse continues to be a part of the sport. His passion for boxing has allowed him to serve as a trainer, a coach, a mentor, and a community leader, working with both amateur and professional fighters. Jesse has literally mentored generations of young fighters since the 1970s. He is recognized as one of the first Hispanic coaches in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, while pioneering the first inner-city amateur boxing program that has awarded him and the boxing gym that carries his namesake with numerous team trophies. Throughout the years, Jesse and his staff, that includes his sons Anthony and Michael, have trained many successful boxers, a program acknowledged by USA Boxing. This is Jesse A. Montoya of Montoya Boxing, a pillar of amateur boxing in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Okay, thanks for coming back. I'm here with our offensive lineman, Javier Collins, number 70 in your heart when he played for the Cowboys. We were talking about, when we went off the air, we talked a little bit about some of the guys that were, I wouldn't say they were crazy. They just weren't, I guess they weren't on the same, maybe in the same, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want them to come back and whoop my ass, so I want to.
Page?
Maybe not on the same page.
Same page?
Yes, maybe not on the same page. And you were telling me about Alonzo Spellman coming through the curtains at Valley Ranch, because at Valley Ranch you can see the curtains back there by the buggy, or back there by the buggy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the one that Al used to push around. Remember Al, Big Al?
Yeah.
Remember Al? Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
The only person today allowed to clean Jerry Jones' office. True story.
Wow.
True story.
Yeah.
Jerry didn't want any. He don't need you. He don't need a housekeeper. He don't need anybody. Nobody cleans my office but Al.
Yeah.
Per Jerry Jones. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I mean, Al's been there a long time. But yeah. So you're saying that you were walking through the curtains one day and you were going in or something.
Well, yeah. So this was my like very beginning of a rookie year, like even before camp had started, and I remember about Alonzo Spellman having, up until then, I believe that was when he was with the Bears.
Bears before he came to us.
And he had some challenges off the field with them.
Yes.
So the story was around him, right? But the story that I have had nothing to do with any of his off the field stuff. It was just the sheer size of this dude.
Yes.
I mean, so coming in, I wasn't small by any stretch of the imagination. I was pretty big, but this was probably the biggest human being I had seen without shoulder pads. Like the width of his shoulders, going through those right over there.
Yeah.
Going through those
Curtains.
Yes. And it's like we both could not go at the same time. Like he had to go first. Yeah. And then I went. And it was very brief it was. I mean, I don't even think we had a conversation, but I just remember that. That's Alonzo Spellman. I think he had just left the team.
Oh, really?
I think that was his. He was coming to finalize or something, but he had left the team
Okay.
previously.
Okay.
And it was a very brief interaction, but to this day, one of the biggest humans I've seen.
So you never saw him?
I never was on the same practice field or game field as he was at the same time.
Let me tell you something about Alonzo Spellman.
Yeah.
You see a lot of athletes, wide receivers, running backs, mainly wide receivers. I mean, they always want to have the best looking body. Alonzo Spellman was the biggest, had to have been the biggest cut up person I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, he was a D lineman, but he always wore a six pack.
Yeah.
And he wasn't sucking it in.
Yeah.
And then he had these long arms that
Long
went down
arms.
to his
The
knees.
knees, yes.
And he always
Yeah.
walked like this to the locker room.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And look at him.
Yeah. So
That was Zoe.
So for the fans out there, long arms in the NFL, especially as a lineman, as an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, is a absolute premium.
Really?
Absolute premium. It's like boxing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
And that's why some of y'all
keeping
use the boxing
leverage.
gloves in practice.
Yes.
The boxing, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It mimics the sport. So
Okay.
having the longer arms, you get more leverage, you get more space. As a defensive lineman, as an offensive lineman, having long arms, you can protect yourself. Your strike zone is further away.
Yeah.
You can protect yourself further away from your body. So, but yeah, long arms and just wide.
He
Wide
had
body.
wide shoulders.
And he was not fat, to your
no,
point. He was not fat.
He was cut up like in a V.
Yeah.
His waist was so small, but then his shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a V. And I told the story once before that nobody on the team messed with me because Zoe told me, he said, me and you would do great on the team. Look at his arms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he says, as long as you put 2 desserts in my little cubby hole, the little cubby hole right above. As long as I have 2 desserts every day for lunch,
Yeah.
we ain't got no problems. And if anybody F's with you, come see me.
Yeah.
So sure enough, if somebody be chasing me to that locker room, where do you think I went to go sit?
Yeah.
Next to Zoe. Because
Yeah.
ain't nobody going to mess with Zoe.
Yeah. Nah.
And like you said, he didn't talk to very many people.
Yeah.
And if you were, you were still in college. There were some plays that Zoe wouldn't come off the field.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and they would tell, Coach Campbell would go and tell someone else.
Someone
"Hey,
else, yeah, go get him."
Go get him.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, I'm
Yeah.
not going to go get him. So they go to Dion.
6'4", 290.
Oh, no, he's bigger than 6'4", bro.
Somebody go get him.
Yeah, no, and then one time he even got a penalty because he walked off the field after they told him, come on, sprint. He just walked, never missed a step. Look at Zoe.
Yeah.
He never missed a step walking off that field. He just, he didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Zoe was going to do what Zoe wanted to do.
Yeah.
Period, the end.
Yeah.
That was just Zoe. I mean, you'd have to watch some of the other shows, but when we talked about his dogs, how he would bring his dogs to training camp. They'd live in his new van. He's just, Zoe was out there.
Interesting fellow.
Yeah, yes, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. And we had other guys. Who were some of the guys that you played with that were a little interesting?
I mean, I think everyone had their own personality and
Who stuck
their own
out?
ego, right? It's a good question. So I came in as a defensive lineman.
Right.
So I remember the personalities on the defensive line was like the elder defensive lineman was like the Demetrius Underwoods, the Greg Ellis.
Greg Ellis.
Ebenezer Ekubon.
Yes, I remember Ebenezer.
Brandon Noble.
Yes.
Yeah, those were some of the guys that were already there and established. When I'm coming in as a defensive lineman, again, remember, at some point I was switched over. And I
Right.
was no longer a D lineman, and my track was different. But like coming in, like first initial entry point into the Cowboys, those were just some of the personalities in the meeting room,
Yeah.
right? Some people were quiet. Some people asked a lot of questions. Some people cracked jokes.
Who was it? Who was the jokester?
Oh man, put me on the spot. There was
yeah,
you know, I would say the biggest jokester of what I remember then, my rookie year as a defensive lineman, was actually one of the coaches. So the defensive lineman coaches were Andre Patterson.
Yes, I remember Big Andre.
Big Dre. Yep.
Yeah.
He coached.
He had a son that looked just like a mini
Yeah,
me.
yeah. He coached the interior D lineman,
Uh-huh.
and Jeff coached the defensive ends.
Jim Jeffcoat.
Jim Jeffcoat.
Yes.
Pardon me. Yes, Jim Jeffcoat. So he was probably the guy who cracked the most jokes.
Jim Jeffcoat.
Yes.
Wow.
But it was the kind of jokes that weren't really that funny. You know,
Okay.
like he it was funny to him
Right.
because he's laughing at him, but nobody else is really laughing. So it's one of those type of jokes.
Oh, wow.
Right? And he just kept telling them and kept telling them. But hey, he played there.
Yes,
Obviously.
yes, I remember Jim.
He was a very integral part of their defense in the Super Bowl
Yes.
years.
And he's still in the coaching. Coaching here in Dallas. They start in November.
Okay, where's he coaching?
Is it the Allen? It's
He's
whatever
in Allen. Okay,
It's a team in Allen, I believe. But they're
okay. Shout out to
yeah.
Jim Jeffcoat.
He'll be on our show the 30th.
Okay,
He's
good.
going to do our show. Jim's a great guy, man.
Yeah.
Great guy. He's been around a long time.
Yeah.
God, long time. But yeah, Jim was great. And Brandon, I talk to Brandon every now and then on Facebook.
Okay,
Brandon
good.
Noble, yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
Yeah.
But Greg Ellis, I very rarely do I see Greg.
Okay. He's been doing some big things.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
KG.
I'm not sure if he's collaborated with anybody, but I know he's
He did
been
a couple
in
of
the
movies
production.
together. Productions.
Yeah.
KG and them came and shot a movie at my gym one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's news.
Yes.
Let's hear about that. How
Oh,
was that?
Actually, I had a cameo in it.
Okay.
I played the coach.
Okay.
Yeah, some good looking girls there, and they said, "Hey, well, we need a coach," and I'm like, "I'm not an actor." They said, "Paco, just be yourself."
Yeah.
I was like, "Whatever that means, okay." And they said,
Yeah.
"Just act yourself," and they came and they shot
Wow.
for a couple of days, and
Wow. What was the movie?
God, I don't remember. They had
Okay.
a premiere.
Okay.
They had a premiere at one of the Legacy in the Legacy somewhere.
Okay.
They had a premiere, and I
Carter
went to
High?
it. What was it?
Carter? Was it Carter
No,
High?
no.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Carter High. It was.
Okay.
It was Snoop, I believe, is the guy that's the head director
Okay.
or producer, and then KG and Greg. Greg
Okay.
had a small part in it,
Okay.
and KG just worked the film. He didn't have a part in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a matter of fact, I guess somebody saw that because I had somebody else approach me about playing a trainer in a movie again.
Oh.
But I had already. That's back when I was doing a lot of shows with Top Rank Boxing.
Okay.
They pay very, very well.
Yeah.
And I knew Top Rank's going to take care of me because they always put me on shows.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
I would I could do a one shot in a movie,
Right.
get paid some decent money, or
Right.
stay with Top Rank, and I just stayed with Top Rank.
Absolutely.
So I passed on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be going to commercial in just a minute, and we'll be back with a few more stories with our boy Javier Collins. Javier, I don't know if you ever heard of this place. It's called the Cowboy House. This guy here, his name is Chris Gordon. He bought all of Texas Stadium seats.
Oh, the actual seats.
Yes, and he
Okay.
bought the turf.
Oh.
He see the seats there.
Oh yeah. Wow.
He has replica rings, college replica rings, championship rings. This guy carries anything that you guys leave behind. Shoes. You know how they give you so many days to clear out your locker, right? If you don't
Yeah.
clean it out, they clean it out for you.
Oh yeah.
This guy buys all that stuff.
Oh,
Or
okay.
gets all of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's got like shoes, socks, helmets.
Wow. Look
uh,
at that.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, and he's here in Lake Dallas, and he's got a warehouse that I've been to, And man, that thing is loaded from floor to ceiling. No exaggeration. From the floor to the ceiling, that thing is just loaded up with stuff. I mean, man, he's got so much stuff there. It's unbelievable. And he has right next door, he owns a FedEx or UPS. I don't know if it's FedEx or UPS, the delivery service. And so when you buy things from him, he ships out within 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so it's right, turnaround time right away. But yeah, if you ever want to meet him, let me know. He's a great guy, and he's got a lot of things there. He may want to get some seats or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds very cool.
Put that in. You got a man cave at home or no?
Yeah, I got to working on a man cave.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
definitely.
You got a couple kids, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Are they spend most of your time?
Yeah, children are a lot of work, a lot of effort. It's a labor of love, but it's always worth it. But yeah, I have 3 children.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, 3. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. 2 boys, 1 girl?
1 boy, 2 girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he going to be a ball player or what?
We'll see. He's taking his time. He's still got some time left.
How old is he?
He's young. He's 11.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if not, he can take up boxing, bring him to the gym.
Yeah.
One-on-one,
that would
bro.
be nice. Yeah.
You can't fake boxing. Either you can fight or you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely take you up on that. As I said, I'm a very big admirer of the sport. So I would love for him to learn just from a sport perspective, right? Or from even a fighting perspective. So totally.
Well, I mean, you come out to all our fights, and I mean some of the big fights that they've had at the Star or at Cowboy Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
The Joneses have taken care of the NFL alumni, which we appreciate that. The former players, they usually give you guys a suite. You know how they take care of us, all the drinks and food you guys want.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd like to thank the Joneses for that, and we appreciate that. Hopefully we can continue that. But then, my brother and I, we also put on fights, and you've been out to some of those also.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we'll be putting one on in November. You need to come out.
Okay.
At the Mesquite Rodeo.
Mesquite. Okay.
Yes, but it's going to be nice. They're putting in like a huge jumbotron.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already got like 3 big screens, but they're going to put a big jumbotron like they got at Cowboy Stadium right in the middle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it'll be nice. You need to come out.
Okay. Yeah, give me the dates on that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's going to be November 23rd, but yeah, I'll hook up with you before then.
So do your listeners and your viewers and your fans know the dates on it yet?
No. This is the first time I've ever talked boxing. I mean, on here. But being that you're an avid boxing fan, that's why I was bringing it up.
Give us a plug on it.
November 23rd, we'll be putting on Pro Fight. We've got a couple title fights on there. Be Ray Jimenez and Alex Del Bosque. They'll be fighting for some title fights. And we've got like 8 people on the card. So that might be something you guys want to come out to. And we're also going to have, I know you'll like this because with a name like Javier, I know you grew up wanting to be Hispanic. Your parents wanted you to be Hispanic. But we're going to have a Tejano band there. So after the fights, you can listen to some English and Tejano music.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're paying for 1 ticket to 2 events.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good deal, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You need to check it out. But let's get back to we're starting to.
Any nice reggaeton bands out there?
No reggaeton. I'd like to get Bob Marley, but I used to love Bob Marley. I used to play his music in Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
And man, those security guards would laugh and dance. They would get around my car. That's when Dion gave me a convertible Benz.
Oh yeah.
And I used to blast that thing, and man, all those security guards would dance around it, just like they were back in Bogota or wherever.
Yeah, Bob is the man, definitely.
Yeah.
Till this day, still.
Yes. So let's get back to you on you went to O-line. So tell me something. Tell me who was one of your favorite quarterbacks, whether you blocked for them or not, or you played with them or against them, or who were.
So this is an interesting question. So the time that I was there was what the fans remember as the quarterback carousel.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So I think within a matter of 2 seasons, there were 4 or 5 quarterback changes.
Yes, that's right. Can
so,
you name some of them?
Well, so my draft class also included a a guy by the name of Quincy Carter.
Yes.
Remember Q?
Yes.
Yeah, so he was drafted to come in and play quarterback. So he was the first quarterback that of the 2001 season.
Right.
I think there were quarterbacks like Tony Banks.
Yes,
was
I remember
there.
Tony. He still lives here. He lives in South Lake, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had
He played for the Rams. Tony Banks, that's where most of his career was.
there were some backup quarterbacks who I'm drawing a blank, but
Drew Bledsoe, did you play with him?
I'm trying to think. No,
What about Hutchins or Hutchins?
Chad Hutchinson.
Chad Hutchinson.
Yep, he was there. Ryan Leaf
That's right. Right.
was one of the quarterbacks of that era.
Strange.
Was he strange?
Yes.
Well, you got it. I mean, like I said earlier, I was rolling with a bunch of big offensive linemen who we were just a strange. The way an offensive lineman mind thinks is very strange. So, just being around those guys, I think I was desensitized to what strange really meant.
Okay.
So no, Ryan Leaf was. I mean, he just seemed like a regular guy to me.
Right.
With the guys that I was rolling with.
Right.
So, but yeah, just from a team perspective and just from like putting a product on the field, it was just very. There was a lot of question marks
Right.
around who was going to be the solid number one, the general on the field during those years,
Right.
which we all can remember, right?
Right.
This is history. So,
Right.
but yeah, there were some guys to come through and some guys who stayed longer than others.
Well, let me ask you this. And this is probably one of our last questions. We're cutting it close to time. But for Christmas, what or did any of the quarterbacks reward the O-line with presents?
Oh, wow. That is such a great question. I have not thought about that in a long time.
But you don't remember if you got a Christmas present from the
No, I definitely remember.
Okay.
I definitely remember.
Who stepped up to the plate?
So I think that it was almost. I remember it seemed like there was a competition among the quarterbacks, right, on who could provide
Outdo.
provide the best or the most lavish gift of the O lineman.
Right.
That's a special relationship.
Right, I agree,
The
yeah.
O lineman and the quarterback. So again, I was very young in my career, so I was just happy to accept all of it. So I remember gift baskets from Chad, gift baskets from Q, gift baskets
Wow.
from Brian. I remember a gift basket from Zone, from Emmett.
Really?
Right. So and just, respect to them of just showing their appreciation for the men who really, as we talked about earlier, the grunts,
Right.
who really went out there and got their job done for their glory.
Right.
And the men who really loved their job and no complaints, no attitude. They went out there like professionals and they did their job every day. So shouts out to them.
I got to say, I'm going to brag on Troy, and everybody's probably like, yeah, you're just one of those guys, trying to butter up to Troy. But no, Troy took care of the whole locker room and the staff.
Yeah.
And I know, like, Zone took care of the O-line, of course, because they blocked for him, and the quarterbacks took care of the O-line. But Troy would make sure that everyone in that locker room got a present. And, of course, the O-line got 10 times better than what,
Okay.
they would actually pull up in 18-wheelers to unload the presents. True story.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Yes. I mean, Troy went all out. And it's just like when we had that Super Bowl reunion at Billy Bob's, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Who put it on? Troy did.
Wow.
Troy really took care of everyone. He's a great guy, man. I mean, there's nothing you can say bad about him. And people have always, even to this day, people say, hey, was Troy this? Was Troy that? And you got any stories about Troy? All the stories were good about Troy.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy, got along with everyone and took care of everyone. And that's not to say that other players on the team were bad, but, you know, some of the other players had interesting stories that people want to know about, you know. But no, I mean, I've always wondered, because I know when Tony Romo took over, they said that he gave out some Louis Vuitton bags or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I was just wondering if any of the other quarterbacks had done anything like that. You know, Troy went all out. I'm talking about, like, sometimes he'd buy them, like, man, I can't even remember everything he'd buy them, but he'd big old grills or something to ride. I think one time he bought him some cycles. All the linemen got, whether you started or not,
Yeah.
if you were an O-line on the roster,
Oh, yeah.
you
definitely.
got the same thing as Larry
Definitely.
Allen got.
Definitely, yeah. I remember the stories.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, our careers did not intersect, so I wasn't able to participate in it personally, but I do remember the stories.
Yeah, so you guys heard
Yeah.
stories, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
one last question.
Yes, sir.
Your favorite employee at the Cowboys?
Favorite employee at the Cowboys?
Treated you good? You got along with him great, or you talk to him all the time, or whatever?
Yeah, so,
because, you know, I got to give shout outs to those guys too, because I mean, I worked with those guys, and
Yeah.
and so it's not fair to just talk about all the players, you know.
No, yeah, definitely. So I think that just the way my career went, there were parts of my career where I was dealing with different employees. So you mentioned Mike McCord earlier. Shout out to Mike McCord in the equipment room. Him and Bucky Buchanan.
Yes.
They made sure that there were no issues whatsoever with
Right.
any of the equipment.
Right.
Right. Which is premium stuff.
Right.
Right. We had a player development director by the name of Steve Karikoff.
Karikoff was great.
Yeah,
man.
shout out to Steve.
Yes,
Karikoff.
I still talk to Steve.
Yeah.
Great guy, man.
Yeah, genuine guy.
Yes.
Really, he had a heart for the players' well-being,
Yes.
and he just bled, silver and blue.
Steve
Right.
Karikoff, I thought probably the most underrated employee there at the facility, because there was someone, and I'm not even going to mention their name, but they know who they are. They didn't like me, and I don't really care for them either. But they were Steve's boss, and everything that Steve did, that other person took credit for it.
Oh,
You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, Steve, that's why I say Steve was very underappreciated.
Yeah.
Appreciated. I mean, he did a lot there.
yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, have you ever been on Mike McCord's yacht?
I have not.
Yeah, he's overpaid. I mean, I just can't believe that. But one of these days we need to go out to his place. He's got a big
Wow.
house, and he's got
How many NFL equipment managers have yachts?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Shout out to Mike McCord.
Yes.
He has a yacht.
Mikey,
That's
Mike, you're
awesome.
killing me, Mike.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to have that job.
yeah.
Have a yacht. I mean, I don't know if it comes with the pay or what, you know?
Well, in all fairness, he is very good at what he does.
Yeah, you know what he was doing before he did that?
No,
He was our ticket sales guy.
really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's all he did. He was ticket sales.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought Bucky Buchanan would take the head equipment guy's job, because his dad, Buck Buchanan, was there for so long.
Yeah.
man. But no, they gave it to Mike. But I mean, you
And
know,
they-
Mike deserves it.
And they worked well together.
Yes.
I mean, they still today. They're
Yes.
still there. They
Mikey
are
and
great.
Buck.
They are a
Yes.
great tandem in the
Yes.
equipment room. So
Jim Maurer,
yes,
Britt Brown.
Britt Brown.
You know,
Yep. Those are the training room guys.
yeah. Did you ever know Greg Gaither?
Greg Gaither, that's the number 3 in the training room.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he still there?
He's still there.
Okay, so yeah, Mike.
Quick story about him.
Yeah.
We're about to run out of time.
Yeah.
So we're in San Antonio, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
going to eat, and I don't know what. And anyway, so that they says, yeah, we're here with the big party, you know, the cowboy party. He says, well, we're going to sit down, and he's like, oh, okay, you're with Coach Hager, and we're like, Coach Hager? We don't have a Coach Hager on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Hager. He was here, a little short guy with like spiked haircut. We used to call him Porcupine.
Okay.
Right? But we're like, Coach Hager. Why does she call him Coach Hager? She takes us to the table. This is back when Hager Slacks was one of our sponsors, and it had Hager right here.
Oh.
So they thought that was his last name. So we started calling him Coach Hager. It was a sponsor's name, but we all started busting his balls. We started calling, hey, Coach Hager.
Coach Hager, the sponsor.
But anyways, that's
Lucky
it for this week. Javier, I appreciate you coming out, man.
Thank you.
Bro, I really do, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next fight.
Absolutely.
November 23rd. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully we can get one of those sponsors at one of the big eateries, and let's start putting this show on the road. And tell your friends about it. Thanks for watching.